All right, so today we're going to read our Bible. We're going to do this page, so make sure you have it. So we read about Abraham the other day, right? And we know that God told Abraham he would have as many people in his family as there were stars in the sky, right? And then visitors came to Abraham and his wife Sarah, God, and two angels, and they said, at this time next year, you will have a son. And Sarah thought that was funny because she was too old to have a baby. But look what happened. God made it happen. They did have a son, and they named their son Isaac. Now we're going to read a little bit about Isaac and his father, or his son, Jacob. God blessed Abraham in many ways. Abraham became very rich. He had silver and gold. He had servants, and he had many sheep and cattle and camels and donkeys. His son Isaac grew up to be a strong young man. Now it was time for Isaac to find a wife. So Abraham called for his most trusted servant. I want you to go to my homeland, Haran, and find a wife for Isaac. He gave the man 10 camels. Each camel carried bags of gifts to give to the family of Isaac's bride. So a long time ago, people would go find the person you're going to marry without you kind of falling in love with them. They would just go find them for you. So the servant, so Abraham's helper, came to a town in Abraham's homeland. He led the camels to the well in the middle of the town. They were thirsty and tired after the long trip. At the well, the servant saw a beautiful girl carrying a jar. The servant said, "Please, can you give me some water from your jar?" The girl gave him a drink of water. I will draw water for your camels too, she said. So she says, you can have a drink and I will get your camels water also. The servant found out that the girl was named Rebecca. She belonged to the same clan or tribe as Abraham. This was just what the servant had prayed for. He knew then that God meant for Rebecca to be Isaac's wife. When he told this to Rebecca's family, they asked Rebecca, will you go to this man and meet Isaac and become his wife? I will go, she said. So Rebecca left her mother and her brother and went to live with the servant back to her Hebron. There she married Isaac, who grew to love her very much. So Rebecca and Isaac, they became married. They grew older. They had 2 boys. They had twin boys named Esau and Jacob. So Rebecca and Isaac prayed that they would have children. They were happy when God gave them twin sons. The first was born was Esau, then came Jacob. So they look a little bit different. This is Esau and this is Jacob. Notice that Esau has a lot of hair on his arms. We're going to have to remember this for in a little bit. Lots of hair on his arms. The twins did not look like each other. They did not act like each other. Esau grew up to be a hunter. His skin was ruddy and he had lots of hair on his hands, arms, and neck. Jacob had smooth skin. He was a quiet man who stayed home and farmed the land. Isaac grew old and he could barely see anymore. The father, so this is the father. The father grew old, he could barely see anymore. He wanted to give his blessing to his older son. Then Esau would become the leader of the people when Isaac died. So a long time ago, the father has to give their son their blessing. And that means that the oldest son becomes the leader. But God spoke to Rebekah, and God told Rebekah, Esau is not to be the leader of the people. Jacob is to be the leader of the people. Isaac needs to give Jacob his blessing. So they're going to trick Isaac. So Rebekah made Jacob dress in Esau's best clothes. Then she put hairy goat skins on Jacob's arms and hands to make them feel like Esau's. Remember, Esau's arms were very hairy. If Isaac were to feel feel him, he would realize that that was Jacob and not Esau, and he wouldn't give his blessing, but he needs to give the blessing to Jacob. So she put like fake goat hair on his arms. When Isaac called for Esau, Rebekah sent Jacob into the tent instead. Remember, he can't see very well. They're tricking him because God told Rebekah. Isaac knew the smell of Esau's clothes. He touched Jacob's hands and he thought they were Esau's. He gave Jacob his blessing, and Jacob became the leader of the people of Abraham. So they tricked him, right? They put the goat skins on Jacob. Isaac couldn't see very well, and he gave his blessing to Jacob. Now Jacob's going to be the leader. But when Esau finds out, he's going to be really mad, and we're going to read that story next time. All right, so here we go. Make sure you have this paper ready. It looks like this. First, we're going to use our pencil, and we're going to do a little bit of writing. We're going to write, Jacob tricks Isaac, because that's what happened, right? So we're going to start on our line. We have 3 lines. And we have 3 words, Jacob tricks Isaac. So we're gonna start on this line over here, all the way on the side of it. You always wanna start on the very edge of the line, not in the middle, because you might run out of room. And we're gonna start with the letter J for Jacob, capital J. Try your best, see if you can make a capital J. So we have J, and then we're gonna put an A, J-A, C, O, and then a B. Make sure you're writing with a pencil in case you need to make a mistake, in case you need to erase a mistake. So we wrote the word Jacob, all right? We're gonna move on to the next word, Jacob, and the next word was tricks. We're gonna start all the way on the edge of our line always. T, R, I. Remember our I, our dot floats above. So we're gonna write tricks. T-R-I-C, and then a K. We go straight down, kick up, kick down, and then an S. That's the word tricks. So we have Jacob tricks Isaac was the name of the father, right? So Isaac is a capital I, and then an S, and then 2 A's. A, and then a C. Oopsie. So when we're done, it says Jacob tricks Isaac, right? Jacob wore his brother's clothes and made him feel and smell like his brother. And they put the goat skin fake arms on Jacob, so he would be the leader of the people, right? When Esau finds out, he's going to be very angry. But we're going to read that story next time. There he is with the hairy goat skins on, right? To make him feel like he's his brother. But God told Rebekah to do this. It's hard to believe that God would want somebody to get tricked, isn't it? But God knew that Jacob would be the better leader of the 2 brothers. Let's see. The father was very old. He was close to dying. That's why he needed to give his son his blessing. And in this picture, it looks like Jacob is giving his father also something to eat. Maybe he didn't feel so good, right? He was in his bed. It's hard for him to see. He's very old. There we go. You can press pause if you need to finish. Jacob tricks Isaac, right? This is Jacob. He tricked his father, Isaac.